Everyone has to live somewhere, and everyone has to invest their money someplace. So what happens when where you live meets up with where your money is invested? Hello, real estate. Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Money Real Estate. I'm Elise Blake. It's late July, but already this summer has come to be defined by massive and very welcome political and social changes here in the United States. Today I want to talk about real-world impact of one of those changes. In particular, the Supreme Court's decision to legalize gay marriage. And if you're not gay, you may think this doesn't directly affect me. But I'm here to tell you it does. For real estate agents, mortgage lenders, title and escrow companies, and other real estate service providers, this is a growing opportunity to cater to a profitable market niche. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, in partnership with the National Association of Gay and Lesbian Real Estate Professionals, that is a very long acronym, conducted a first-of-its-kind survey on gay and lesbian attitudes towards real estate earlier this year. And if you only take two things away from their findings, it should be these. First, 81% of survey respondents felt that a Supreme Court ruling for marriage equality would make them feel more fiscally protected and confident about buying real estate. And that's always great. Second, the opportunity financially is huge. The LGBT demographic has an estimated purchasing power of, get this, $840 billion. And according to Nagel Rep, which is, I can't even believe I'm trying to say that, gays and lesbians live in virtually every county. So no matter where you help people buy and sell real estate, this demographic needs your help. I've got Sherry Chris, who's CEO of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, with me on the show to talk about the survey and its results. And I also want to talk about how Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate has grown since its inception in only 2008, the beginning of the worst housing crisis in more than a century. Sherry, welcome to my show, Big Money Real Estate.
Thank you, Elise. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's nice to have you on this show finally. So this survey that you did, and let's start with the survey, was just remarkable. You talked to 1,700 LGBT respondents surveyed for this buyer and seller survey. Were you surprised by these findings?
We were just stunned by the findings, and we knew it was a significant survey to conduct because it's never been done before. And as we, launched our Better Homes and Gardens real estate brand, diversity in all forms was then and is very important to us. And so in looking for statistically correct survey information, around LGBT home buying and home selling trends, we couldn't find anything. And so we partnered up with Nagel Rep, as you mentioned earlier, and conducted this first-of-a-kind survey. We had no idea what the results, would be, and we were so excited to, just read through everything. And we actually presented it at the National Association of Realtors mid-year conference at the end of May. And then sure enough, 6 to 7 weeks later, marriage is legal for the LGBT community across the country. So good timing, but it was just a coincidence.
So in the survey, you found that the top neighborhood priority for LGBT residents is safety, about 88%, but the top motivation for purchasing a new home is living in a better city or neighborhood, having a bigger home, and getting married now that they can get married. So it seems that it's really interesting that it just aligns, and maybe none of us should be surprised by this, right? That it aligns completely with the way heterosexual families think about moving into a house.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we've been finding anecdotally across the country, and this is a trend that, has been growing over the past several years, is that LGBT couples having children and, really becoming families. And of course, the only part that was missing is that they weren't able to legally get married. So this sort of puts the icing on the cake for them, so to speak, and it allows them to feel even more comfortable moving into home ownership.
Do you find that there are, clearly neighborhoods across the country that are more friendly or less friendly to homosexual couples. With your agents, do you find that agents are overall generally happy to work with anybody, regardless of their sexual orientation?
Most agents are absolutely happy, and most agents, if they're trained professionals, will know which areas are friendlier than other areas, which school districts are friendlier, that type of thing. And so for a true professional real estate agent, they want to exceed their customers' expectations, no matter what the needs of that customer would be. It is part of the reason why we conducted this survey. We wanted to make sure that our agents across the country, and all agents for that matter, because we released these survey results publicly, would have as much information as possible to help LGBT couples feel comfortable moving into neighborhoods and comfortable with home ownership. One of the things that the survey results told us loud and clear is that a fear of LGBT potential homeowners is that they move into a neighborhood that's not friendly. And so there's an uncomfortable feeling there. And, that I think that the marriage law coming into place and the huge, and, I'm sure you saw it online, Elise, just the huge, overwhelmingly positive reaction to that. I was shocked myself. I really was that, our world is changing now, and we need to not just be up with the times, we need to be ahead of the times.
Have you had any Better Homes and Gardens real estate agents approach you privately to just say that they're uncomfortable with such a friendly, open, professional stance? Are you concerned about, are any real estate agents parting companies with either your company or others because they just don't want to work with people who have a different sexual orientation?
We have not at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate had that at all. I do know that there are agents across the country that feel more comfortable working with clients that have the same religious beliefs or the same beliefs in general, and that's really personal choice. And so the good news is that there are 1.1 million real estate agents across the country, so there are enough agents to definitely help those 5 million home buyers buy a home. There's really something for everyone. And again, I'll say it's our job as a brand and as a franchisor to educate our agents as much as we can so they're comfortable and completely up to speed with all aspects of our industry.
It's kind of interesting. Young kids today, the digital generation, even younger than millennials, they're, sometimes you hear them referred to as Generation Z. I sort of say, well, they're the ones who actually had the brain chip implanted in their brain when they were born, so they're a little different from all of us. But this is such a non-issue for them. They don't even understand the idea that you're focused on somebody who's, gay and lesbian, and what does that mean? To them, it's like a big, who cares? I have homework to do. That's what my kids said. We found out that, a whole bunch of kids in their class came out as gay in high school, and his big response was, yeah, I got homework, Mom. Like, tell me something I actually need to know.
I know. It's really interesting. And I have to tell you, Elise, that we just completed a survey of Gen Z teenagers across the country because there's been so much focus on the millennials. And so we thought, okay, we need to find out what these teenagers are thinking. And, that's for another conversation. But the results of that survey, very interesting. But, when you look at classrooms now, and I have two of my siblings are educators, and they tell me that it's very common today for kids in the classroom to have two moms or two dads. Nobody thinks anything of it. And, I contrast that to the days when I was in school where, it really wasn't heard of at all. It was suppressed. And now it's completely out in the open, which is such a wonderful feeling for everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, it has to be terrific. Well, I want to turn our attention for just a minute to see how Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate is actually doing and competing with other brick and mortar brands. Out of the blue, we've got Berkshire Hathaway signs everywhere. We've got outfits like owners.com and Zillow. the landscape has changed very, very quickly. You started with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate at K. You moved over from Coldwell Banker 2008, the beginning of the worst housing downturn. And I remember it was you and one other person, I can't remember her name, and you're like, we're going to start this brand.
Exactly.
And the grass was growing. You had this lovely branding for it. So here we are. It's been, I can't even believe, 7 years, right? How are things going? What are you finding now that Berkshire Hathaway has come into the fray? Where are things going?
Well, we embrace, and there are always competitors out there, and competitors come and competitors go. So if we look at brands like Berkshire Hathaway, well, they bought the Prudential brand.
Right.
So that brand is going away, and Berkshire Hathaway is forming as a result. I have 4 other brands under the Realogy umbrella that are what I fondly refer to as our sister brands here at Realogy, but all of us have different value propositions. And when we launched BH&G back in 2008, our vision was to launch a brand that was very consumer focused. Because when you think about national real estate brands, their focus primarily is on the tools that they provide their agents and broker owners. And so with a name like Better Homes and Gardens, of course, we license the use of that trademark globally for real estate. It's just taken us to a different place where when we look at, for example, our social media feeds, Facebook in particular, our consumer social media page has exploded. People want design ideas and decorating ideas. And one of the things that we found is that today's consumer, because they have access to so much visual information, are dreaming about owning a home much earlier. And so what we've found is that we've been able to provide information and design tips and new trends in design much earlier and help the consumers through that dreaming phase. And then hopefully they'll buy a home through us. So it's been an interesting journey. And I want to say one thing, Elise, and that is when you launch something in a downturn, you have to be much more disciplined. And, that is a trait, and I tell our team this often. I say, anyone can launch something with a lot of money in the good times, so to speak. But what a wonderful experience to have that discipline to work through the downturn that we went through and the recession and to actually come out the other side. Today, we have over 10,000 agents. We're in 40 states. And we're in Canada, and we're growing. And so it's been a wonderful journey, and it's been a journey that, personally has meant a lot to me because we are able to help people at a different level.
Well, that's just great, Sherry. And of course, I remember being there as you were announcing it, watching the first few people sign up, and that was very exciting times.
It was very exciting times. And in fact, it's interesting that we're talking about this because our 7-year anniversary is on Thursday.
Wow.
So time flies, that's for sure.
Well, congratulations and happy anniversary. I can't believe you're at 10,000 agents. That's a really significant number.
Thank you, Elise. And it's always great to speak with you. I appreciate your time today.
Oh, it's been terrific. Sherry Chris is the CEO of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Thanks for being with me, and thank you for watching this episode of Big Money Real Estate. As always, you can send me your real estate investing questions on Twitter and Facebook. Share this video around with everyone, and don't forget to check out my series, The Intentional Investor, How to Be Wildly Successful in Real Estate. I'll see you next time. I'm Elise Klein.